What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, the goal is to get the 2GR swapped MR2 back on the road. I made a video about it, but essentially I was driving, battery light came on, and a combination of like the stud breaking off the alternator and then some of the wiring got rubbed through. So I got to replace the alternator and fix some of the wiring. I feel like it was best case scenario because, you know, with electrical stuff, it could always go bad and cause a fire. Yeah, I'm just glad that it didn't end up being worse, and it should be a relatively easy fix in the grand scheme of things. I did Google it to see like how others have taken out the alternator with the engine in the car, just because, you know, this was never meant to go in a second gen MR2. There was one person I saw who they removed the alternator by removing the side vent here to access some of the bolts and whatnot. I'll find that video and make sure to link it down in the description below. So the AC system is actually empty right now. I had plans to do a engine out service on this car over the winter. It just, those plans never happened, but I did empty out the AC system. So the route I'm gonna take, and hopefully it works, is that I can just remove the AC compressor and easily remove the alternator, but we're gonna find out. My plan was to take out the lines with the AC compressor as one unit. I realized I wasn't gonna have enough room, so I removed the lines from the compressor. There's 4 bolts holding the compressor itself in place. I was hoping that I could just slide it on out, but that wasn't the case. I needed to undo the torque mounts, so the front and back one. The engine actually wasn't moving a lot, which is when I realized I also need to disconnect the exhaust, so I just removed the mid pipe there. After all that, I got pretty close, but I still wasn't able to completely take it out. Didn't film it, but you'll notice in this shot here that the heat shield on the front is removed. That gave me the extra room to pull the compressor out. The alternator itself came out really easy. I undid the coolant hose just because it gave me a little bit more or easier access to the bolt that was right there. Then I went back underneath the car, I undid the lower bolt, and then the alternator pretty much just dropped out. The job as a whole really hasn't been that bad so far. I'm sure you could probably do the same job by doing a little bit less or removing less things, but that's okay. Everything's out at this point. I got both alternators here as well. The old one, the stud is broken off. Everything else about it seems perfectly fine. I might actually see if I can get this rebuilt, and it's just always nice to have a spare if I ever need one in the future. Over here, I got the new one. It is a Denso unit, as you can see from the box there. It's literally identical to this. I do want to note though, the part numbers are different. The one I had been using was part number 210-1131. The new one I got is part number 210-0657. When I look up the specs, they're completely identical. The reason I got this one in the first place is that was the part number I found on the forums. I went with this one because, well, one, TCS had this part number on their website, and then number 2, it was actually like $20 cheaper than this one, so it was a no-brainer to get this because it should do the same thing at a little bit cheaper of a price. I went ahead and threw the new alternator back in, and it went in with no fuss because it's pretty much the same thing. I did realize though that I'm missing the bracket that connects the alternator to the engine block right here, so that third mounting point. I can buy the part new from Toyota, but it's like 30 bucks shipped, which I think is a lot of money for essentially just a small L bracket. Next time I go to the junkyard, I'll see if I can snag that off a car. I went ahead and threw in the compressor, reconnected the engine mount, exhaust, and all the little things I took apart. I left the compressor loose and the accessory belt disconnected because when I go to reinstall the harness, there is a sensor underneath this guy that needs to be connected. Everything else though is connected and back in place where it should be. All the plugs that were on the front side of the engine closest to the firewall naturally got removed as I was disconnecting or removing the alternator and AC compressor. So that just left removing or disconnecting the stuff that was on the front bank, and then I could pull the engine harness up and take a closer look at everything. The damage is a lot better than I expected. Essentially on this connector, all I have to do is replace this little piece of wiring that's damaged. I didn't have any terminals on hand, so I decided to just go ahead and cut out the bad wiring and then replace it with, well, new wiring, and just use butt connectors to make that connection. For the main power wire, virtually nothing was damaged, just the very end of it. So I cut off the terminal. By the way, I wasn't successful with the small wire cutter I had there. I needed to pull out my big wire cutters. Then I was able to crimp on a new lug. Because of the size, I used my hydraulic crimper just to make sure it was a good solid connection. And now the repairs have been made, so I think this stuff's gonna be pretty good to go back in. again, a couple things I do want to note though. One is that I was very considerate of where the butt connectors were at, and I know the way this is going to be routed. So essentially, I do feel that I placed the splices in a spot where it's going to be on like a straight portion and not like in the middle of a bend, because it'll be something like this. I don't want this to happen again, so as I put the harness back, I'm gonna be very mindful of how I route it, because I do suspect routing played a part in it in addition to the hardware situation. One of you guys mentioned that the OEM bolt on the alternator, essentially it has like a little washer with teeth on the bottom like this bolt does. Well, when I initially did the swap, I just used some bolt I had laying around because that's just what I did. And this is actually the piece that was on there. This guy didn't have any sort of washer or anything like that. And I can say with certainty that I know at least one time before this had come loose. So that could have been a factor as well. During the reassembly process, I honestly didn't film much just because I was super excited to start the car. So we'll just hop ahead to the first test start. All right, moment of truth. This is her first time being on since November. No battery light, the voltage is good. There is a check engine light, and that's not a surprise. I'm not really concerned about the check engine light right now, just because the car's not completely put back together, just the alternator electrical related stuff essentially. I mean, like the intake is not even clamped in place. The car's not filled up with coolant. There is a couple little things that are unplugged right now. I got some work to do for season. First event of the year is probably gonna be coming up in March for me. Probably doing an autocross event, and then I'm already signed up for my first track day of the year. I still have the turbo transmission that I plan on putting in the car. I just don't know when I'm gonna get to that. I keep intending on doing it, and then it just keeps getting pushed back because life happens. So maybe I might go the route of just driving this car how it is until the transmission actually blows. Then I'll go around to swapping that one out. So on that one, I know what's gonna happen, I just don't know when. The job of replacing the alternator in the 2GR MR2 as a whole, I guess it's really not the worst thing in the world. I took the route of taking more things off, so extra steps just to kind of make my life a little bit easier when working in there. If I did this job again, I would probably just go through the side vent. If I had a car without AC, I do think you could probably finagle the alternator out from the bottom, or at least it would be a lot easier to access it because you won't have the AC compressor in the way. That's all I got for this video, guys. Probably in the next one, I'm sure we'll be prepping this car for season. Once this thing's fully prepped, I'm then gonna turn my attention to the Spider over there and get started on that project. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.